Hey, Calipigian Feature here, aka Calli, back with another guide on budget cast when damage taken. And this is for newer players or casual players or people who have never tried cast when damage taken and they wanted to give it a shot, see if it's for them, that kind of thing. So this is the super budget version. I paid a total of 7 div for all this gear to get it going, and I will go over every piece one by one for every single requirement to get your ward loop going. And there's a lot of info, but first I will just do a quick showcase this time up front so you know what it looks like. And yeah, let's just jump into a map quick. And then I am level 90, and I do have a level 70 POB, so if you really wanted to buy all the gear up front, get to level 70, and finish Crew Lab, which is all you need is Crew Lab, you can start playing this at level 70 actually, just like how you see right now with the budget version, all the way up to level 90. I recommend just doing 5 ways to level 90 though, it's way more damage. You can go jump straight into T16 Zen. But yeah, this is the mapping experience. A lot of clutter, but that's what you get with this build. And let's just go rush to the boss. That's probably enough clearing A. So yeah, not the best damage, but I mean this is only a 7 div budget version. All the medium budgets and super high budgets have giga damage and can do Ubers and all content. So we'll get to that eventually. And I'll actually be making those guides next. So, alright, yeah, let's just go over the budget guide real quick before we get into every required piece of gear. I actually have every piece of gear saved, ready to purchase on Better Trading. So all you gotta do is click, and then it'll take you right to the piece you need. It'll save you a ton of time. It's called Better Trading. You can just Google it, install the extension, and then I'll put the code either in the comment or somewhere on the video, and you just copy and paste it in, and you'll save a ton of time getting all the gear you need. So, alright, now let's get into it. Alright, so I'm going to go over every piece required, and the 1 or 2 stats that it needs, and I'll also write all this down too, so if you just want to read it in the future, or just read it right now instead of listening, that's fine too. Alrighty, and then I'm going to talk about the 1 or 2 things required, and then in the remaining stats, you want to just get res, attributes, life, things you can to like just get better, to cap your res, get more life, that sort of stuff. So, the one thing required on the staff is the +3 to level of all cold spell skill gems. The thing required on the amulet is +1 to level of all cold skill gems with an open prefix, so you can craft on the 6% damage taken recouped as mana that is required. Then you need 2 Heartbound Loop Rings with 420 physical damage taken on mini death, so 20% quality. You need 2 of them, and the implicit doesn't matter. Just get the cheapest ones you can get. And then the belt, you need a max rolled increased flask effect duration, so 33%, with an open suffix. And then you can craft on the 9% increased cooldown recovery rate. You need at least 9% for this. And then the armor is a Skin of the Lords, and you gotta be careful of the keystone at the bottom there. So mine's Iron Will. This one is a good one. You just need one that doesn't break your build. Some of them will break your build, like Resolute Technique and Avatar Fire. There's certain ones that just don't work with cast and damage taken, so they're usually cheaper and they're at the very top. But I recommend like Solapism, Iron Will. There are some other ones here that don't break your build. I forgot. It's like Arrow Dancing, Unwavering Stance. But I mean, the price varies. You just gotta find one that doesn't break your build. And then lastly, you need ward items. So just get as high as much ward as possible, and then with res or open suffix, so you can get as much as you can. And I prefer 30% movement speed. You don't need it, but I like to go fast, so I recommend that. And lastly is the weapon swap. So this is how you get it started. You need 2 one-hand weapons with triggers level 20 Spectral Spirits when equipped. So you need 2 of those. And then weapon swapping is how you'll actually get the ward loop started. We'll get into that later. Alright, next is Blast. So we have Olroth Resolve, which is required for this build. It's one of the main pieces. And you need at least 44% or lower, so it's going to be a little more expensive, but I just get 44%, and you need 20% quality. And then you also need a Quicksilver Flask with 40% increased additional elemental resistances. This will help you just cap your res. So I'm not capped without it, and now I am. And the third flask is Kiara's Determination. Needs to be max rolled, 60% reduced duration, and then also 20%. And then you have to craft reuse at the end of this flask effect for all three. If you're starting out at level 70, you can only have 2 flasks going because you don't have enough skill points for all the flask effect duration, etc. So it'll just be 2 to start out, and then once you hit level 90, you can add in the Impossible Escape, which is only 20C, and then you can get this third flask. But yeah, we'll save that for later. And then lastly, we have jewels. So the required jewels are kind of a lot. The main one is Brutal Restraint Timeless Jewel, and it has to be of Balbala there. That is required, because certain ones do different things. And then once you plug it into a socket, it'll turn all the keystones into the Trader, which is also how this build keeps its flasks up. And I recommend starting out putting it right here, and then later on in the build you can move it up here or over here or wherever you go with the build. And then you also need 2 Dust Cobalt Jewels. So the top line, reduced skeleton duration, needs to be a total of 74. So the higher ones go up to like 19 or 20. You know, you can get like 4 of them and get a total of 74, but that's expensive. So to do the cheap version, just get 5 jewels. So I did 4 15% and 1 14%. So that's 15 times 4 is 60, plus 14 is 74. So here's my 14, 15, 15, 15. And then this is my Impossible Escape, which is what you can get when you get to level 90. Normally you just path over here right away, but you can save some skill points by entering this in once you're higher level. It's only 20C, and then you can just allocate it through this, so it's nice. And then the last jewels are the cluster jewels. So these are pretty cheap. You just need 8 passive large cluster with increased cold damage, and then Prismatic Heart. Isn't required, but I really do like it because you get more all res and elemental damage, so it's nice. And then you need a 4 passive medium cluster with the minions have increased maximum life, and the main passive you're looking for is Blessed Rebirth. This makes it so our minions can't die, and if they do die by like other monsters, our ward loop is screwed. So like our ward loop is based on our skeletons. And then the other one is 6 passive, 6% increased flask effect duration. It does need to be 6 passives, and then the only passive, the big one, can be fasting. And then you do need to allocate them all to get as much flask effective duration as possible. Alright, that's it for jewels. Lastly is gems. So in the weapon, you need cast damage taken 20/20. You want to buy Freezing Pulse 20/0, Creeping Frost 20/0, and then you can just buy the supports level 1 from Lily, or you can buy them if you want. I don't. I just buy the rest of the supports level 1. Saves time, and they level up eventually. Alright, and then for the chest piece, you need a level 19/20, which is corrupted. You need all corrupted gems to get in the chest. And then you need a level 20/20 corrupted Ice Spear. And then I just bought level 1's supports, which you can read in the POB. And then I just corrupted them and just leveled them up. And then you also need a level 20/0. I just did it because it's cheaper. And then a level 20 Frostbite, Oh yeah, I thought about a level 20 mark, but I just bought a level 1 actually. But the Frostbite one is one that will really help you clear, so this one you want level 20. So buy that one too. And then you can 4-link it with Phase Run, which was level 1, which is what I had, but I realized it just wasn't up all the time, and it felt like you're just going fast and slow, fast and slow. So I unlinked it, and then I just Phase Run when I feel like using it. And then eventually, once it's higher level, I'll add in increased duration and take out a different one. And then for the helmet, which is what gets the ward loop going, I'm not going to go into all the math or the calculators on how it actually works. There are websites and dedicated Discord servers and all that stuff out there to help you, but that's for another video. Anyway, this is just to get the build going. You need a level 11, and then you want to right-click it because it has to be level 11, so you got to stop leveling it. And then Forbidden Right has to be level 1. Cast damage taken has to be level 5. And then Blood Rage is just an extra one to throw in because you just need these 3. I might change up Blood Rage. We'll see. And then, so to do that, I just bought level 1s, you know, then I just did Blood Aqueducts real quick until they got to the right levels, and then you right-click them, and then they're done. And then the same thing for Summon Skeletons. I bought level 13, I think it was like Act 1, and you just use Scholar Speed at level 11, and then you just map for a little bit, and then you right-click it, and then you're good to go. And then the last one is Eternal Blessing and Hatred. I did not buy Hatred at level 20, I thought I did. You probably could actually get you a little more damage. And then Val Righteous Fire, I did not buy. You could buy that too. Get you a little more damage instead of level 1 right away. And then, yeah, that should be it for gems. And I also got to talk about my trees real quick. So I have a level 70 POB and a level 90 POB. Here we go. So let's pull the 70 up. I'm just going to go over the required nodes. I leveled as Hollow Palm to 70, and then I respected to this level 70 tree, and then you just got to make sure it's the exact same with the required gear, and it should work for you. So you need all the Flask Effect Duration nodes you can get, but not the increased effect flask one, because that makes your ward lower actually. So not those. So just increase effect duration, reduce flash charges. Same here. And then you do need these three. These three are required to get your skeleton duration perfect, along with your 2 dust, jewels, etc. Do not get the mastery. I accidentally did the mastery here, and I was wondering why my loop wasn't working. So just, if your loop's not working, there's got to be like something just not quite the same. This mana mastery needs to be 10% damage taken or groups of mana. This one's just increased life. And then you do need mind over matter. This cluster. This staff wheel, 30% increased defenses while wielding a staff. I needed extra strength for my backhand weapon, so I got that allocated. Just extra life. Recoup is required to get your recoup, going. And then, that's it for 70 to get it started. And then to go into the level 90 tree, there's not much more to add. It's just, you get these 2 extra nodes right here, and then you need to buy an Impossible Escape, and then you can get that 3rd flask going. And then the final clusters up here that I got was I removed this once I got the final lab done. Got a little bit of this in life and mana, and then more cold damage, exposure, and then more power charges, and then immunity to shock. So it cannot be shocked while at max power charges. So yeah, that is it for the tree. And the final thoughts, extra notes. Bandits, kill them all. The ascendancy order is Pathfinder, Elementalist, Path of the Witch, and then you can't have any armor as well on any piece of gear. So sometimes there's like armor on your belt, there's randomly, so your armor needs to be 0 or the build won't work. Sometimes if you have too much chaos res, it won't work either. So I just keep mine at -60. There might be a few other things I'm missing. If I am, I'll just write them down in the YouTube comments or notes somewhere. And then to actually get the build going, you just you enter the map, and then you hit your 3 flasks, you weapon swap, and you turn on your Righteous Fire, and then you are good to go. And then if for any reason you need to stop your ward loop, you can actually just take your helmet out, and it'll stop it. So. Alright, that is it. I will be making a medium budget, so maybe 20 to 30 div next, so something to work towards once you make more money. And then after that one, I will make a super high-end budget one too, 100 div plus. It might take a little bit, since I do work a full-time job and everything, and I'm still pretty busy. So, but that is my goals for the next videos. So that is it. If you have any questions, just leave them in the YouTube comments, and I'll try to answer them as fast as I can. Alright, thanks. See ya. Oh yeah, lastly, I forgot the level 70 showcase video, so I'm just throwing that out at the end here real quick. So just to prove it's doable at level 70. So, alright, here it is. Oh yeah, here we go. This is level 70. All my support gems are level 1. And I've just started leveling up on the previous T5 map that I did for this. And I actually didn't have Frostbite in. Frostbite is such a huge damage boost. So I got that swapped in, but I didn't get it in this video. But yeah, level 70 works. That's me getting shocked right there. So shocking almost does kill you, so that's why I get the power charges cluster, so I can get immunity to shock. So, but yeah, works pretty good for a budget version. That's all there is to it. Peace!